Welcome everybody to the Chess Lab. Welcome to Repertoire Mastery episode 5. Let's jump straight into it. Today I have a little bit of not that much time because tomorrow I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to work. So my job starts at 5 a.m. It's just 1 week that it starts at 5 a.m. The next week I work in the afternoon. So, it's not always like that. But in reality, I prefer this shift. I prefer the morning shift because when it's the evening, the afternoon and the evening, I feel like I have so much time to not only study chess but also follow my trading routine. I don't know if you know, but in my free time apart from chess, I am trying to build up a trading portfolio. I don't say this to sell you anything. I know that this triggers a lot of negative things in your mind. It's just that I actually do that. That's why I'm telling you. It's so severe that when I have the afternoon shift, I used to try to trade in the morning, but it's like I can't do it. Like there's just no time to do everything. The amount of hours should be the same, but for some reason it's just not. And so I only trade when I have the morning shift, which means that the afternoon is free. And, when I trade, and again, I'm telling you this just because I do it. It's like I'm telling you about my life. When I trade, all I have to do is to make sure that some setups are met. And so all I have to do is to look at the chart and a couple of indicators that I have for myself, and that's pretty much it. So while I'm waiting for those setups to meet, and they may never meet in a day, I may never trade one day, right? Or multiple days in a row. It literally depends from what the market does. Well, in that meantime, I can do more research when it comes to trading, trying to refine my systems, trying to do all these sort of things. But I can also just study chess. I have two screens. On one screen I have the charts, and on the other one I just have my Chessable tab open. So yeah, it's actually quite nice. Now, I just wanted to tell you this, just to talk a little bit. Now, here what's going on. Let's focus on the game. Sometimes I look up because this is where I see what you guys see. And this is where I actually play. Now, my opponent, before this move at least, was kind of setting up, and even before this move, a King's Indian setup. With those pawns, the bishop, the knight, something like that, right? This is typical King's Indian shenanigans. C6 is also very typical. And here what you do in the beginning, I didn't say that, but as soon as you see g6, you know that they want to fianchetto their bishop. And so you play b3 to fianchetto your own bishop to kind of counter that. And you don't want to wait, because if you play bishop g2, bishop g7, and then you play b3, they may hit you with something like knight d5. And the only way to not lose material is to play c3. But then all of a sudden you are in absolute insanity, and c3 is definitely not useful. Someone may argue that knight d5 is not useful either, so it's probably a game of chess, but it's not coherent with the repertoire at all. But okay, my opponent hits me with b5, and I'll be honest with you, I have no idea how to approach this move. So there are a couple of possibilities that comes to mind. The first thing is to attack them with a4 and try to create some sort of a weakness. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Also because this diagonal is getting a little bit weakened, and if they play a6 and I take, they have to take with the pawn, so that's quite interesting. And but the second idea is to just continue with my plan, which would be knight d2 and e4. However, I really don't know what to do, I'll be honest, and I really like a4, so I'm gonna go with a4. This is definitely out of theory. I'm gonna go with a4. If they take, I probably just take with the rook, and I just have my rook very active, and this guy is a weakness forever. And then I can think about continuing with either c4, knight c3, or knight d2, e4, something on those lines. And okay, but here you have to be concrete. So for example, already moving the knight may be an idea to both prepare e4, but also threatening a takes b5, and this would be pinned. But now they can play a6 to support the pawn, so I'm gonna take the pawn. And the reason I want to take this pawn, and this may be a very wrong idea, guys, but is my plan, is that now they have one and then two pawn islands, whereas I have only one pawn island. I should make the opposite colors, because like I should probably do it like this. Sorry, I'll do that. Yeah, two pawn islands and one pawn island, meaning my pawns are all at least theoretically close to each other. So okay, how do I plan to continue from here? Well, there are a couple of possibilities for sure. And one idea is to play rook e1, knight d2, and try to organize a break with e4. And I think I kind of want to go for it. I think that's perhaps an idea. I can also play knight c3, with the point that if they push, well, what's my point if they push? I'll have to bring my knight on a square that I don't like, but perhaps I can try to reroute it to the c4 square, and if they play d5, well, then I have the e5 square for my knight and everything's good. But I don't know, I don't like this idea. e5 can really hinder my knight. So perhaps because of this reason, the move c4 is a move that I want to play. Now, if they play b4 after c4, what do I do in that circumstance, though, is not so clear. Well, I can try to attack that pawn with queen d2. Queen d2 is also a typical move in this structure. I can also try queen e1 to then combine it with the push here, and then rook to a4. Is not clear how they can defend, but now it comes to mind they just can't do that, but then I attack their knight. So they would have to play knight a6, for example, but knight a6 sucks, because the pawn's still on d4, remember. I'll just have to find a way to coordinate my knights, but I really don't know. The bottom line is that I have no idea what's going on here. I really don't know. But yeah, developing this knight is going to be a little bit of an issue. However, now that I think about it, if they push their pawn to b4, I have ideas like knight e1, knight d3, and then this knight replaces the other knight on f3, and that makes it so both knights has great prospects, and this pawn's actually under pressure. They can also play a5 to defend. I don't know why I didn't consider that, but sometimes I'm a silly hat, as you know. Okay, playing b4, if they take on the other end, this guy is weak. However, the c4 pawn arguably is not that strong, and this guy may just run, especially supported by this guy over here. So the position is already very, very complicated, and the reason I'm taking this much time is because I'm not used to get into those type of positions. So I really don't know what to do. I'm just gonna go with knight b2 d2. I'm just gonna keep it very simple. I'm not gonna compromise with anything. And if they play d5, guess what? I can also play b4, something I just realized now, and I go for something like this. Okay, they play knight b2 d7. This is a typical move. And now I'm gonna play rook to e1. Rook to e1, I'm trying to play for e4. Let's see if they stop this idea of mine, or if they allow it to happen. They stop it. Okay, however, now their typical plan, which is to break with e5 or c5, is a little bit gone out of the window, if I can say so myself, and guess what, I can. So now there are some very interesting possibilities. The first thing that comes to mind is to play the move b4, because all of a sudden I have to kind of give up on the idea of playing e4, even though that's not really true. I can still try to play it, but after I play b4, my idea is to reroute my knight to the b3 square, from which is going to control the important squares on a5 and c5. So that's a little bit off my plan right there, and I think I'm gonna go for it with b4. It's a nice move, I think. Also, this knight here, as you can see, is quite restricted. Of course, now they're gonna jump into this square, but before allowing them to do that, I could actually just do something like this. Knight e5, and after they jump in, I can actually just take, and they have to take with the b pawn, because this pawn's pinned, and then I can play something like b3 to consolidate my position, even though that may just be silly. I may not have to do that now that I think about it. And they have a weakness, if anything. So I don't know. Position's complicated, but I'm gonna go for knight e5. Obviously, they give me the possibility to I'm not saying winning a tempo, but like pin this guy and do all these things. Now I'm perhaps threatening c4, unless they defend the bishop, of course. Rook b8 just feels like it fails. And it's a complicated position. It goes without saying. But now that I realize if they go here, I can actually take, and take. And if they take, I win their bishop. And if they move, which is forced, I can take here. But then they have this, so I have to be careful. But in general, I win a pawn, I think, if they go to c4. So they can't go to c4. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting, guys. That's very interesting, huh? I think it is. And yeah, it's an interesting position all of a sudden. It's an interesting position. You don't see this structure too often. Okay, now, are they threatening to win this pawn? I'm not sure, because then I have bishop a3. So now the position gets actually insane, because now I want to calculate what happens if I play c4. So c4, they take with this pawn, that's the most natural. I take with this knight, they take, I take. And after rook here, I can even go here. And if they take, I have this. And the position, it feels like it collapses for them, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, of course, guys. Now, after this, they could take here immediately. But then I have this move, and I don't see ways for them to, like, win or anything. Actually, after they move the queen, which is kind of forced, unless they go here, they could go here, but then I just take here, and it feels really bad. Because then after they move the rook, I just go here. And if they take, I can take. They take my bishop, but they take their knight. The position gets crazy, actually. So let me calculate this correctly. Here, here, here. Here. They go here. Yeah, because there is a pawn here. But I can capture here, perhaps. Oh, but this pawn is also hanging. Okay, so the position is actually complicated. After this, it's not so easy actually to move here. Here, what then? This hits the rook. Oh, this hits the rook, never mind. So they have to move. But it's still not simple, isn't it? But if anything, I can just take, they take, I take, and I'm up a pawn for the time being. But they take, I take, they take. But then I have this, very powerful, maybe, but maybe not. I really don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna go for it, because I see some potential in this line. Okay, but they choose this, I don't want to call it simpler, because there's nothing much that is simple in this position here, but Yeah, I missed this. I missed this completely. Am I losing? Unfortunately, I think I may be. Okay, let's not panic again. Why didn't I calculate this? This is like the most obvious thing to calculate. Let's not panic. So I can jump in, but I'm down a pawn. Why am I down a pawn? That's weird. Why am I down a pawn? So I can go here, but then they just go here or something, and there is the same problem as before. So I think the best shot for me is to go here, potentially, and if they take, I have this, and their bishop here hangs, I think. So I think I'm gonna go for it. I could also go here, and if they take this and I have some activity, but I think I'm just gonna play it a little bit safer, considering that I'm missing moves. When you're missing moves, it's probably the best idea to just play it safe a little bit. Just a little bit. The bishop hangs in the end. So what was my mistake in my calculation? The most obvious move, which is knight takes. I should have calculated pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, queen takes there, of course. Yeah, that's silly by me. Calculation mistake. I feel like perhaps today I'm not performing in my best way. I'm just not peak performing here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but okay. I regained the piece, and they save their situation right there. Now it's very important that I play to draw the game by taking this guy here. It's very important I do that. And the way I plan to do that is by exerting a lot of pressure over to this guy with moves like queen to a1. If they trade, I'm attacking this pawn. I don't see ways for them to easily defend it. They have to push it, but I just follow it. And I'm not getting mated, as far as I can tell. I'm not getting mated. I should be okay. So I'm going to go for it. And I'm trying to win this guy over here. It's not even super easy for them to decline this trade thing. So yeah, this is survival mode now with, but okay, I just realized that this guy is rated 2290. So, you know, I'm not crying. I'm not crying right now. Okay, so here there are a couple of possibilities. The first thing that comes to mind, believe it or not, is rook a4. Just rook a4. The reason behind this move is that I'm gonna play rook a5 and I'm blocking this guy in place. So after rook a4, what can they do? They can't really move their knight. That's the good thing. If they try to activate the bishop, I block it. If they try to move this rook, I just take their pawn. So there are many things that are problematic in this position. So after rook here, they can try to go here. That's perhaps their best shot. But after this and take, check, I block, they jump in, perhaps, which is a little bit annoying. But then I have check myself, and they will have to block. But then I actually win the game. But they have this. Holy! Well, that's complex. That's complex for sure. But then I take like this, they take like this, I move here. It's probably equal in the end. But I'm not sure. I also want to play e3 to just solidify my position, but perhaps there's no need. So let's just go for this move. I have to be careful though, because rook here, they can just play rook here perhaps. And I take here, but how good is this? Check, block, knight here, threatening many nasty things. And it's not so easy. It's not so easy. I can probably play king g2, but here the bishop's trapped. So it's not so obvious to generate some initiative over here. I can only do it if my rook is guarding this place. I can also try bishop f3 perhaps, but I don't know. I can also try knight a5 perhaps. But knight a5 I don't like much. Well, it's true that after knight a5, if they go here I have this fork, so knight a5 is not bad. If they push, I can just go here, and I feel like I'm doing alright. Again, I'm gonna go here, no problems, but then the knight may get attacked, but then I just move it back, or check even. Yeah, I can always check. Here though, if I take, there is this. It's kind of nasty. I can always go here though. Knight here, pawn here. It's super complicated position. I feel like though is a draw almost no matter what I do. What about e3? But I would like to get a tempo on this guy. It's just they can't really move. They can't really move. Rook here, take, check, bishop here, knight here, check, bishop here, knight here, take, move here. I think it's a draw, but I could calculate mistakenly, you know. I'm just gonna go after this guy. Just gonna go after the pawn. Am I crazy? Like, if I just keep following it, am I gonna lose? I just keep following it. Is this so wrong? Now I'm scared, because the more I see that pawn marching forward, the more I'm scared. I'm just gonna follow the pawn. That was the original plan. Maybe I'm insane, but I'ma do it. I'ma do it. And I think this is a draw, but what a hard-fought draw. I also made mistakes in the calculations. If I'm making a mistake here in the calculation, I'm dead. I'm just dead. Oh, they are gonna go here. Oh. Ouch. So perhaps I'm just dead. They are gonna go here. Damn. I should have blocked the pawn. But they don't do that. They don't do that. That's surprising. That's surprising. Rook here, they're winning or something. So what's the big deal here? I just take. And perhaps they take, but I take, they take. I take. It's a draw forever. I don't really understand. But wait. Perhaps now I can go here trying to defend, but that probably doesn't work. So I take, they take. I take. Rook here to attack this guy. No, they can't do that. No, there's no rook there. I'm crazy. I'm just gonna take. I'm just gonna take. Okay, now I take. Now I don't see their point. Okay. Because now I just play this and this. Okay, so it's still not easy. A lot of difficult decisions here. I can go here though. And after take, I'm already on the pawn. So that's definitely a move. Because if I do this, they take, and then they go here. Sorry, they go here. But then I go here, they take, and they're kind of stuck with the rook. No, but they're going to play this in a tangle. So yeah, I really don't know what to do. If here is the same thing. Oh, but I can't, wait, I can go here. I can go there, wait a minute. I can go there, check here, here. I'm better, perhaps. I'm not saying I'm better, I'm just saying perhaps I'm not worst. You know? I'm just speculating at this point. But yeah, defending my knight is just obvious. Check, I move. I have to be careful about attacks on this pawn, but it's gonna take them a while. Oh, they do that? Whoa. Well, that's a weakening. That's a weakening move. I don't have that many squares for my knight, but you don't need many squares for your knight when I go here. Yeah, it's of course a delicate position. Where do I go with this knight? If I go here, they're gonna trap it. So I really have one move, which is here. Okay. I think they screwed it a little bit. I think. I defend in a natural way. I defend. Yeah, I think they definitely screw it. And then I'm gonna go here. I have a fantastic position. Okay, they're perhaps trying to push here. Now they're playing on my time. But you know what I think about playing on people's time. Now I'm attacking this guy. They wanna push, but I have this move. Okay. And now what? Well, it's not simple, obviously. If I go here, they push. Oh, but then I push. That's fantastic. Is it too much? Perhaps a little bit too much, but who cares? Attacking this guy again. Yeah, it's just gonna be a draw. I'm happy for the draw, guys. But he is not. Well, I have the better structure and the better position, so it's fine with me. Maybe I had better moves there, I don't know. How do I activate my pieces here, though? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But it's just because my endgame skills are bad. I probably should be fine. Just gonna play h3 because why not? Okay, now I have to be careful a little bit. I'm just gonna move here because they wanted to play these, obviously, which would be annoying, but just not allow them to do these silly tricks. Now I go here, trying to prevent them to enter. And I guess then I'm just gonna move my king here to e2, and I feel like I should be good to go. I don't really perceive too many weaknesses. Okay, king here. Okay, I just take. I move here. I mean, my knight is close to the action, so I think I'm fine. Okay, I'm gonna go here. It's a tough position, guys. It's a very tough position, but I have h4 move. I have the h4 move that simplifies things a bit. So I think they're going to move a pawn here on the queen side. Yeah, but h4, I think that kind of simplifies it a little bit. Because now I can just move my knight here and there forever. And I think that's just a draw. I think that's just a draw. I think that's just a draw. Yeah, because now I just move here and here, right? Here. Yeah, here and here. And I think I can just do that forever. Unless I'm crazy. I may be crazy. I may actually don't know endgames. It's possible. Like, if I go here, are they gonna sacrifice their bishop? I don't think so. I don't think that's possible. I think I'm just gonna go back and forth forever. Am I crazy? I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Sorry guys for this, but it feels like... okay, he offers the draw. Draw, great, great, that's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like I even had the upper end at some point. That was crazy. I'm very proud to have drawn this game. And I think he could win with rook a4, but he didn't play it. I should have blocked their pawn. I missed this idea of them attacking my weakness, which is just silly. So I'm happy that despite not being in shape, because I basically missed every tactic that is conceivable under the light of the sun, I managed to draw 20 to 80. That was a legit 20 to 80 and I just draw him. It's like, that's crazy. That's just crazy. I can't believe it. I played so well. Look at that. Look at that. He was definitely a little bit better at some point, but not even that much. It was just minus 0.4, minus 0.5. Minus 0.5 is the most that he got, and plus 0.8 was the most that I got. So I even play better according to the engine than this guy. That's crazy. And this is me playing a variation I'm not used to, being surprised, not knowing what to do. I took some wrong decisions, for sure. C4 is a mistake. Well, it's not even a mistake, it's an inaccuracy. Better would have been knight b3. But sorry, because sorry if I'm a little bit silly. Oh, there is this, of course, the pawn is untouchable, which I knew. I am so silly. This is actually probably losing for them. Oh no, they can go to c3, yeah. Oh, and then not even taking the pawn. What if I take the pawn, though? Rook f to e8. But I have to go bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, queen d3. If queen takes, I guess knight takes, I don't know. Rook to c8. No, not this rook, otherwise everything collapses to this rook, but then the knight is kind of stabilized. And then I take here even. And I'm a little bit better. So, okay, tactics worked in my favor, but... I kind of got scared of the fact that they're attacking this pawn, so I played c4, which was also my bias, so, you know, falling for biases here. They just take a pawn. But okay, I managed to not panic, again, kind of keeping it together. And this is kind of okay. They should have played rook a4, of course. And this endgame is drawn. The problem is, this is something the engine doesn't know. I would have never drawn this endgame. My opponent should have definitely go for it, and I would have lost. But see, if you know your endgames, you can even draw this probably, which is insane. It's just unlikely that you draw it, but you can. That's crazy. But okay, this is now an actually drawn endgame. And yeah, g5 starts to be a little bit crazy. And here I should have played g4. I had the feeling that there was something here, but I couldn't quite tell you what it is. You know, I couldn't quite tell you. But yeah, g4 obviously. If they take, the whole position collapses. Well, not the whole position collapses, but you know, it's definitely better for me. But the truth is that is not easy. These endgames are very tricky. And again, endgames are kind of my weak spot. And as you can see, already a player rated, sorry, 2290. I thought it was rated 2280. 2290, that's crazy. Already a player rated 2290 forces you to go into those weird endgames. Because of course, if you both plays at a decent level, you're gonna get to an endgame. Obviously, because none of you is gonna be able to crush the other beforehand. And even an endgame like this, you know, the engine is like, this is 0-0, but are there ways, like typical plans and ideas for both white and black, where white can put most amount of pressure and black can put the most amount of pressure? Like maybe here perhaps there is like g4, I'm just saying something ridiculous, right? g4, if take here, and perhaps you are the one pushing and they are forced to play this, and then they are the one pushing, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. You never know. So, but yeah, I just figured to create this fortress and this is 0-0 forever. But I'm very proud of this draw. This draw is better than a lot of victories. This is very good. I played really well. I managed to not crack under the pressure. I missed the variation. I missed the variation against a 2290 and I still managed to draw. That's not obvious. That's not obvious. Oh, and most importantly, sorry guys, I forget the most important things, why we're here. We are here to see if I respect the repertoire or not. Come on. You always have to remember what you're doing. So as you can see, I'm studying from these three repertoires. I'm mainly focusing on this one at the time being to really learn it and memorize it, but I'm also keep repeating this guy here, and it has been a while since I checked the Solon 1 knight f3. So the Solon 1 knight f3 is actually the repertoire where I'm the weakest, with the white pieces, which is the best position to be in. You'd rather be weak with the white pieces than with the black pieces. Because if you're weak with the white pieces, as you can see here, you can still draw against a very strong player, because you're the white pieces. But if you're weak in the black pieces, you just get blown out of the opening. So it's better to be weak with the white pieces. This is my opinion, obviously. Okay, so this is the repertoire, and b5 I don't think is even contemplated by Solon, so I think that this is a good one. I'm of course also studying the domination course by Raven. That goes without saying. Okay, let's browse the three. The chapter on the King's Indian, I'm really lacking, guys, in that chapter. As you can see, b3 immediately has to kind of be played. Did my opponent go with what? d6, bishop g2. Yeah, d6, it transposes, so it doesn't matter. d4, castle, bishop g2, c6, obviously, a castle, and here knight e4. Is this the position? Yeah, this is the position, as you can see. I want to search course for position and actually see what he says, because there may be some clickables, you know. Oh, this is actually a game? Oh, this is not even theory. What? How is that not theory? 94. C4. So yeah, it's out of theory, so I'm gonna count it as correct, because if it's my opponent that goes out of theory before me, then of course his repertoire respected, obviously. So let's go. Let's play another game, 15 plus 10. So we are now at 6 games out of 100, 6 out of 100, guys, with this repertoire. We are training. Okay. Again with the white pieces, and now I actually have a fixed rating of 2254. The more you know. So g3, I'm not in good shape today, so another draw I would be okay with it, even though the opponent is rated 2199, which is basically a 2200. But I'm not in good shape today. I don't know why. I just don't feel the shape here. Here, knight f6 transposes to the lines that I've played a quadrillion times, and here we go. Sure enough, queen b6 is the move, but listen, these are the most common lines. Every video I make with the white pieces, almost every video, you see one game with this line. It's crazy. If this, and in the previous game bishop c5 happens, listen, what? Did I already play this guy? No. But there are so many people that play this line. Even the FIDE master I played against, he played this line. That's insane. So here I face bishop e7, bishop d6 basically doesn't change anything. If anything is worse, because after e4 you're also threatening the fork in some lines. So bishop e7 with bishop d6 basically meaning the same thing. And then bishop c5 I faced yesterday where I know knight c3 is fine. And then you just go with that endgame. I have some improving up my sleeves thanks to yesterday's games. And this also shows you the concept that if you play the same lines over and over, you start to get some better knowledge in the middle game. So knight c3, here we go, sure enough. Now knight g4 may be a move that they play, and in that case I'm not sure what to do. I'm not really sure. There actually is e5 anyways, now that I realize. There is e5 anyways, because the queen is also defending. Okay, so they play this move, which is unusual. This is an unusual move. What is this? Queen c7? Oh, because they are afraid of this. Ah, okay. They are afraid of that, huh? I see. Okay. Fair enough. But now I can actually throw in some curveballs. Now I can play bishop f4. And bishop f4 is a deadly move. If they play bishop d6, I take it. They take with the queen. I play e4. They go back. I push. They have to take. I take. They take. I go rook e1 and I win the game. So bishop f4 is a trap where bishop d6 loses the game, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it loses. And snap, bro, snap. Can I play e4 immediately? I'm gonna play bishop f4. If they don't play bishop d6, listen, I win a tempo. Here we go. I think I got the game. Am I crazy? Take. I think I got the game. I think I just got the game. Because this seems like it's not a 4, because they have more controllers, but then even rook a to e1 and it's GG's. So they take like that, but now I just take with a pawn, and it just feels catastrophic for them. Okay, so now they're not falling for the fork. However, there are certain moves that I can play to really make it hard for them. So the first move is knight to h4, after which they probably just castle. And these are those middle games where, you know, I'm perhaps a little bit not knowing exactly what to do. Another move that I can play is queen e2, a move that I'm really looking at, because if they castle, I push, and that's a clean fork. And if they try to pin me, I just take their queen, because mine's defended. So queen e2 really insists on that concept. What else? Well, another move is queen b3. Queen b3 is a powerful move. Now, this pawn's not hanging, because if they take, I take, they take, I go here and they lose the guy. Or at least I gain back the pawn with massive attacks. Now, the problem with this move is that they probably can just castle, I feel like. And I think I have the upper hand in that line, but it's not so easy. So queen e2 is a move that I really like because it prevents them from castling. And it sets up the usual rook here stuff with a very nice position. The problem, of course, would be that if they decided to, if I go queen e2 and they don't castle, what do they do? They could play knight e5, perhaps. They could play knight e5. Fair enough. Fair enough. But then I take, they take, and I can go f4. They check me. I block, they trade. I'm gonna take with the king even. And I'm gonna have that 4 against 3 with some strategical advantage, threatening already h3 and trapping the bishop even. And if I don't trap it, I bury it forever. You know what? I'm liking it a little bit. I'm liking it a little bit. But okay, then they can check me, I go back, but then I do this, I go back. f4 is a thing. It's a tricky position. I can, of course, just take. They take, I take, and I have a pawn on d6. That's also a possibility. I just have a pawn on d6. I really like this, though. But what if they just castle? Well. The problem is if I take here, they just attack me. Let's say with the other rook even. And what do? There's not much I can do. I can play rook a to d1, for example, or rook f to d1. For instance, they go here, but I really like queen e2. Queen e2 prevents them from castling. And again, if they go here, I just play my thing. I'm gonna try queen e2. Queen e2, let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And maybe I got a little bit too horny with this bishop d6, bishop takes, but it feels like the queen is exposed. And again, the fact that they cannot castle is kind of good. I wasted a lot of time, though. I don't know. And I finished my half-a-liter bottle, water bottle. It's not vodka, guys. I know I'm playing like it's vodka, but it's not vodka. I'm playing like a maniac. I'm playing like a maniac. So again, I take, they take, I push, they check me. Here or here, I block with the queen. And next move is h3 if they move the queen away. So I'm gonna go for it. It's crazy. But if it works, it works. I'm not disliking it too much. Yeah. And if, okay, they check like this, I go here. Obviously. Okay, so if I take with the king, there is this move. And if I go here or here, there is this move, which is very annoying. And if I go back, there is this move, which is very annoying. So I'm going to take with the rook. And my next point is to play h3, threatening to trap this bishop and also preventing knight g4. If they play knight g4 immediately, I may just consider going here. And if they jump in, I may just consider going here. And this is an endgame where I feel like white is better. And this is the idea of pushing this pawn is an idea that I had during the game, and that strong candidate master friend of mine that I was mentioning, he suggested in some lines in those middle games to go for that idea as well. So this point of having this strong structure 4 against 3, let me highlight it very clearly, is typical, and especially you have to focus on the 2 against 1 highlighted like that. So okay, they immediately allow an escaping square for their bishop. However, here I can immediately go for something like this. If they go here, I have h3, which is very strong. And if they go back, I can just go here. And if they create this attack, that's annoying, that's annoying, that's annoying. So perhaps I want to play h3 anyways, or perhaps I want to go here. Knight here, rook here, bishop here, bishop here. It's probably good. It's probably good. Pawn here, they can jump forward, so they probably just have to go back. But if they go back, I hit them this time and they don't win any tempos. So do I hit and play this and then bury them with this structure, even allowing the rook to be open? I think that's a good idea. I think that's a very sensible idea. So let's go. Of course, what happens if they go here? Again, I can just go here. I can just go here. And I'm actually threatening to trap their knight. Wow. So knight here, rook here, threatening to trap the knight is crazy. And there is a line with bishop h5, bishop to f3, knight here, bishop takes knight here, and the knight's dead. The knight's just dead. So they go back, of course, obviously. Let's go. But now I can bury them alive. I can bury, I don't know how to say it, bury them alive. They go back. Now the question is, do I keep assaulting them with e6 and create a generational attack? The problem with this move is that they can take, and just move to f6. And that feels like safety. That feels like safety. So I don't know. Perhaps I want to reinforce my pawn and then play the move g4. And maybe this is very wrong. I just don't know. I also kind of want to go knight here, which is something that I realize I should have just done. But I wanted to bury their bishop. Here, so this is very instructive. But positions like these are going to happen again, so it's not a big deal. But I should have perhaps in this position be a little bit more thoughtful. Perhaps, just being a little bit more thoughtful. Perhaps a move like bishop h3 would have been a killer. Yeah, this pawn is just blocking this knight. Perhaps even b4 to really bury this knight and threatening b5 as well. Yeah, f5 was really just wrong, straight up wrong, I have to say. I just have to say that was wrong. That was wrong, guys. Sorry for that. I'm still weak. I'm still weak. But obviously, a situation like this can provoke mistakes. But that's, I think, maybe this is a mistake, actually. This may be a mistake because now I have e6. And that's a very strong move, because rook here, which looks clever, I take this with check and I win the game. So after this, they perhaps have to take, jump in, but then I move, they go here, I check, it's still not clear. So perhaps now the move b4 is a nice idea, because those rooks can easily swingle to this side of the board, or I can play against burying this bishop. So let's just go for it. Let's just play against burying the bishop. Let's just play b4. Let's just play b4 so the rooks are free. But I just realized now they have this move with access to this square, and this is just catastrophic. So I should have played b4. Why am I playing so bad? That's the question that I'm asking. Why am I playing so bad? Knight c4, and they just have a good position. I should have played b4. They don't fully take advantage of that, so that's good. But now I play this move, and now they go here. But this is now a little bit less problematic in my opinion. They're still threatening this move though, which is super annoying. But I have to do it, I managed to create too many weaknesses. Now, if I jump in, they have this now, which is super strong, at least I think. So I'm just gonna go and defend my pawn, expecting knight c5, and things get complicated. And this knight, all of a sudden, you realize is not impressive at all. Okay, they play h5. I feel like h5 is a little bit not too interesting, perhaps. Perhaps not too interesting. Perhaps. And there are some sneaky lines. They have to be careful about moving these pawns. I think for them moving these pawns is very wrong. Like g6 already, I don't know what's going on after e6. I really don't know what's going on. I really don't know. There are some very nasty lines. And if they end up having the knight on c5 in some lines before, just win a tempo, and this is crashing because I have a rook here, and all of a sudden all my pieces are active. So the position is very critical. I just have to make sure I don't blunder anything, but I feel like the position is very critical. Like I'm looking at some lines like b6, I push. If they go here, this is devastating, I think. They don't have time for that, obviously. I just take the rook. With promotion. So they can't do that. So after this, they have to like do this, but then I can take with the rook even. Not sure if this is good. Attacking the rook. They take once, then I take with the pawn. Or with the rook even. They jump in, I go here. They block. Okay, they can block. Yeah. Take though. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. Maybe it's not so good. It's not so good, perhaps. But okay, it's a position. Maybe I just do nothing. Maybe I just do nothing. Maybe g6 is critical. Maybe g6 is a critical move. Who knows? Who knows? g6, here we go. So I can play on bearing this bishop, but they play g5. They take here, let's say, and then play g5. And their bishop's alive. And their bishop's alive. What if I take here, they take here? And they're attacking this pawn, so perhaps pushing here is the only option that I have, and I think I'm gonna do it. e6. And now what happens is just insanity. Now this is pure insanity, and no one knows what's going on. So do I take like this or not? It feels like I kind of want to, but... Then they go here, then I go here. Wait, I realized that I can also take here and switch things up for some reasons. But this is a strong passed pawn after all. This is a strong passed pawn. They go here. And what's going on? I don't really know what's going on. I can take here and attack their bishop. Take here. Maybe that's the best thing to do. Maybe. I don't know. But also wait a minute, because this pawn spinned. Can I take advantage of that? I can take here, they take here. I can take here, they take here. I take here. It feels like this kind of ends in some sort of a peaceful way. But I just realized, I can play knight e4. Knight e4. Wow. Knight e4, ladies and gentlemen, knight e4. That's nasty work right there. Knight e4. If they take, I fork them and I win their guy. Knight e4 is nasty work. Whoa. They can go here. They can go here. But then I can jump to b5. They have to go here. And then I can jump here. And things get nasty at this point. Things get nasty. They go here. But everything's kind of defended. I mean, things get nasty, but not really. Is it really that problematic? They can't go here, though. That's a good thing. Maybe after this, I have something like, I don't know, I just take, go here, here, take. They have to go here. And I just infiltrate here or something. I don't know. I'm gonna go for it just because it creates some mess. Pushing, taking, knight check, GG's. GG's. And also after king here, I can actually push. I can push. I can push that guy. And if I can get to reinforces with b5, it's over. But if they push b5, I take, hitting this knight. And if they take with the knight, it's a fork. That's so nasty. So I'm gonna play I'm gonna play f6. I'm not even gonna take. I'm not even gonna take their thing. And the pawn on f6 is so nasty because I'm down a pawn. But if I can get to reinforces with g5, is a protected passed pawn. This guy's dead, and this guy's a weakness. So nasty. Because if I go here, they go here. I can fork, they go here. I take, they take. Perhaps I take, push. That can also be a move. But I'm gonna go for this idea. It's a little bit of a nasty idea. I'm threatening g5. And if they take once, I'm still threatening g5. They can jump in, obviously. But then, no, then I have this. It's just catastrophical. And if they go here, I check them. It's catastrophical again. It's just catastrophical. Yeah, this all of a sudden feels very problematic for them. And I'm threatening knight g5, actually. I'm actually threatening knight g5. This position is crazy. This kind of reminds me of some really end up badly positions of the Berlin, believe it or not. I saw a lesson once for the St. Louis Chess Club about the Berlin, and it was a game where I don't know who was playing it, but black did something wrong, because in the Berlin, black usually ends up with the king here. Well, I shouldn't say usually because I don't know nothing about the Berlin, but in that game, the king was like somewhere here, but whoever was playing with the white pieces managed to actually have some situations like this. It wasn't like this, but it was kind of like this, you know? And now all of a sudden that f6 pawn looks nasty. Nasty work, dude. Okay, so here what do I do? I kind of want to reinforce it. Now the question is, if I go here, is it the same thing? They go here, I check, take, I take. Meh. I don't know. Do I have some like finishing touch? I guess I'm just gonna reinforce my guy. Maybe that's not good. Maybe I should go here, take. But I mean, what? I can, of course, play this move. Oh, I can play rook here, which also sidestep this thing. Oh, I can play rook f1. Rook f1 is nasty. I'm threatening a fork. And if they block, now I have this. Clean as day. And how do they defend? They defend like this? Well, I check, take, and I have a fantastic position. So rook f1 looks great. Rook f1 looks fantastic. Rook f1 looks fantastic. This move is to be considered, of course, but after knight here, it feels like it's over because the guy's hit. And if they go back, check. The rook's undefended now, so I have to be careful about certain lines. But keep adding the pressure, Rook f1, very nice move, by the way. Because it also sidestep all this bullshit, which comes with tempo. Rook there. Rook there. What about knight here now? And you may say they just take you, bro. They just take you. Fair enough. Fair. But then what am I gonna do? I can play, believe it or not, rook f2. But then I'm kind of missing this pawn. So if I play g5 to play it really normal, what if I play this again, just ignoring everything? Well, they're gonna take, let's say, with a knight. Then I fork, take, but they can just move the knight, let's say, here. And this feels great. I take, they take, I take, and I still have a passed pawn, but it's not the same thing. Now, they're threatening nothing at the time being. So, I could really just go here. If I go here, what are they gonna do? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of this. Right? I'm afraid of this. Okay, but then I have this. Okay? But then they have this. And it's not ending anywhere. They have a blockade all of a sudden. But if I go here, they still have the blockade. But then at least I can play something like b4. Or I can play b4 immediately. Why not play b4 immediately? What if they take? Well, I just take, threatening b5. But perhaps they want to play b5 and then win my pawn. Take, b5. So, okay, I'm going to play b5. I'm just going to keep it together. I'll try my best to. And I feel like with this move, at least I have a forever edge. There are also some ideas of sacking the knight or even the bishop and just roll with the pawns. That's actually quite a decent idea. Now that I think about it. A very decent idea right there. Whoa. Also, knight here feels good. If king here, I win. Yeah, and b4's coming. Perhaps b6 is the best move, but after I move my knight, somewhere, not clear where though. Yeah, b6, what do I do? Well, I can start to engineer some sort of attacks over there. b6, I'm still gonna play a b4 probably. Okay, they block with the bishop. Nothing crazy there. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna play b4. I'm gonna play b4, trying to start to create, because now the situation is fixed. So I'm gonna start to switch and try to create some nasty things on this king. If the king moves here, I already enter, and all of a sudden things are nasty. All things are nasty. All things are nasty. The d6 square has to be protected. But now knight d6 runs into knight c5 again, and things are nasty even more. Their position's so difficult to play. They go there. Okay, let's reinforce it then. Let's reinforce it. Maybe they want to go here. They do. They do want to go there, but now I go here. Oh, going here also defends the knight and attacks this pawn. Oh, that's so nasty. How do they defend? Because then I play b5 anyways. A rook here is a move, but not now, because, well, I can play a4. Don't care. Don't care. Oh, no. Rook here, I just take it with the bishop. I have to be careful because they're hanging the world. Okay, this is under attack. I can check, take, push. Doesn't work probably, but now I can go here. Yeah, now I can break through. If rook here, I just take it. And the position's getting nasty. The position's getting nasty. I can create a weakness. Where are they going with this rook though? They're threatening to go here perhaps, but I'm just taking. I'm just taking. Okay. Now I want to go here, or here even. Ooh, where do I go? Here or here? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. That's some nasty work right there. Oh, rook here, there is knight check. I didn't even notice. Their position's so difficult. Holy, knight here, they lose. Holy. Their position is just nightmare difficulty. They have this though, but oh wow, let's go, GG. 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 Nightmare difficult position. 2200 like that. Jeez. I am playing good chess. I am playing good chess. And I'm sure there were mistakes. I'm sure there were shenanigans. But I just kept the pressure up. Now, the key point is, what's very important, guys, remember risk management. It's very important that I was never lost in this game. If I'm lost even at one time, it's fine, it's chess, so we learn, but that's not good. So it's important that I'm not lost. And I was never lost. I was never lost. Ever. I was never worst. I was never worst. That's so good. This is so good. But I messed up. Again, it's more important, guys. This is very important. Listen to me. And this is something that I'm learning recently. It's more important that you don't have losing positions compared to miss opportunities. If you miss opportunities, that's actually fine. What matters is that you don't go into losing positions. And this is true in every game, meaning even when you win. And especially when you win, you have to check this. Okay? And of course, I'm at a level when I start to play decently precise, but if you are at a level where you still play not precise, you're gonna have many mistakes all over the place. It's fine. Just keep that in mind overall. Don't stress too much about that concept. Bishop c5, queen c7. Bishop d6 is wrong. And here knight b5. Knight b5, I saw this move. I didn't mention it, but I saw it. I just thought that it wasn't that good. How is this +3? How is this +2? What am I threatening? Sorry. Oh, okay, so I'm threatening to win a pawn. What if they defend it? Knight d4 anyways. What if they go here, for example? Bishop d6. Oh, if they castle, rook check. Okay, so it's a little bit annoying. So what if they go here? Rook a to c1. What if they go here? They lose to bishop c7. What if they go here? Bishop b4. Can't castle yet. Okay, and the position is basically sucking. It sucks. What if they try to prevent the infiltration? Bishop h3. It's over. Wow. So because of some dynamics here, knight b5 was better, which I saw. Again, I didn't mention it, but I saw it. I just thought that it was not that big of a deal. But okay, I preferred instead to go for bishop takes d6 and go for e4. Felt like I was better. I'm very happy to see queen e2 is good. This is the best. Rook a to d1. Queen e2 best, probably. Probably. Well, if stockfish 17, depth 21 think is best, you know. I'm not gonna cry. And here, king h1 I should have played. Oh, I should have kept the queens on the board? And go with g4? Oh. Oh, I know nothing about chess. Oh, I know nothing about chess. Oh, guys, I know nothing about chess. And I still win some games. How is that possible? Because nobody knows nothing about chess. Okay, fair enough. B4 I should have played. Look at that. And I mentioned this. F5 is an inaccuracy. I mentioned it. But okay, I managed to not collapse. G6 is wrong. E6, of course, that's basically the only move. And here, I should have played rook takes, f takes. B4 here. Oh. I'm making some weird sounds, guys. I'm sorry, but... And here? A3. What is A3? What is A3? Bro, what? What is A3? Knight d4 and basically the engine thinks this endgame is winning. This is some super grandmaster type shit. But knight d4... yeah, rook takes, but with the ideas of like going b4, rook f1, and knight to e4. That's some super GM shit. Sorry guys, but it is. It's just crazy. And here I should have played knight g5. But what about this? Am I insane? Oh, f takes! Oh, f takes! F takes, obviously. F takes. H takes, but now h4. Yes! Wow! Bro! Knight there, bishop here, and of course taking on g6. See the biases? I'm all focused on this, that I can't see that I just take here. And if they take, threatening to take, and I have 2 protected plus pawn, and if they take, I have this. And they can't play rook h8 because the bishop's here. This is some high-level tactics, guys, but see, this is how you get better at the game. You play, and you try to understand, you analyze. So f6 instead, but notice how even moves like this, I'm not worst. This is what matters, because if I was playing against a much stronger player, you always have to think like this. f6 doesn't lose the game. It actually keeps a slight advantage. That's important. And of course you may say, yes, but if you don't work on optimizing your chess, perhaps you follow Daniel Naroditsky and you see that he optimizes for wins. Yes, but he's a super grandmaster. If he doesn't play, he doesn't care, but he could be a 2700 easily if he wanted to, of course. So he can allow himself to like, oh, in this position I have to absolutely find knight g5 with all these ideas, but he's a super GM. The fact that I'm able to identify that f6 is okay, it's fine. There are some crazy tactical reasons why this is better, okay, but f6 is not bad, so it's fine if you play f6. Of course, for somebody Naroditsky's level, that wouldn't be fine. But for me, for you, it's completely fine if you find f6. Of course, you keep that in mind that there was something better and you learn it, but you just move on. So rook f1, also good. Rook f8, g5, as you can see, is +1, right? It's great. Of course, if you're a super GM, you have to capitalize on every little thing, but at our level, what matters is that you don't blunder and you reduce the amount of mistakes, blunders, and even inaccuracies the most possible. And you reduce the amount of losing positions that you get. This is super important. Okay, b4 finally. a6, a4, knight b6, knight c5. Rook f2, e8, b5, with the concept that if they take, everything collapses. A takes, knight d5, b takes, and now rook b1, very nice move. And here they should have played rook to f8 to protect the bishop. And then I guess then the engine wants you to just target this guy here. What about this? Knight a6 check. What about this? Rook takes. What about this? Probably rook takes anyways, but I don't know. What about this? Oh, there's checkmate. There's checkmate, of course. If you take here, there's checkmate. But rook b2 is more precise because you get out of this. If they take, is checkmate. What if they go back? Is checkmate with bishop takes probably. Okay, rook takes is also fine, I guess. Because I thought bishop takes, no, bishop takes I thought is really over. But rook takes, rook d7, rook b7. Oh, it's checkmate like that. Okay, brutal. Holy. But they play rook b8, again, tough position, rook b8. And you may look at rook b8 played by a 2200 and be like, how can a 2200 play this? But again, when you put that amount of pressure on somebody, you need to understand their position was shit for like 20 moves. Because again, this is why the engine is so misleading, right? It's like, oh, knight d4 is an inaccuracy. Yes, engine-wise, because you had something even better on a clinical level, on an engine Naroditsky Super GM level. But humanly speaking, at a club level, here you're threatening this, 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 like, and mainly this, obviously, your opponent's brain just melts, and they have to play king c7. Then you play f6, again, the engine's like, oh, that's not good, but now you're threatening this, you're threatening this, you're threatening this, and then this hangs, you're threatening b4, b5 to focus on this because the king is now exposed. And they play bishop g8, not a nice move to play. I mean, if you flip it, this is the situation, guys. Oh, an inaccuracy. Yeah, of course it's an inaccuracy, but it's not, you're not worse. White is still better. And black has to defend this. Now there is this fork threat. So you have to move, but now this is a little bit more weakened. And your opponent plays g5. Now what do? You try to block that guy. Now your opponent plays b4. You can't go to c5. If you go here, you get hit by this and you basically collapse. Now you don't have this anymore that comes with tempo, so you're crying. So you try a6, your opponent goes a4, really going for it. Now you go here, now knight c5, you're all happy because finally you can take this, but no, they actually defend as well. You can't hit them because the knight's in the way. Now this is hit. You go here, b5, striking. Now you realize that you can't take because this falls. But at the same time they're threatening here, so you have to take. Now at least you get a square, but now they take again. And even here, how do you take back? Because if you take like this, there is this. And if you take with the king attacking the knight, there is this. It's annoying. So you take, they go here. How do you do? What do you do? It's like, it's tough. It's tough. Here you have to have the calmness of playing rook f8, but your position is just trash. Your position is just terrible. Check already. You know? It's like, it's very tough. Very tough. There is this. If you go out in the way, they're probably going to win by promotion. If you go back, bishop here. Like, black is seeing all of this, you know? He may have saw, perhaps even, no, they probably didn't see the the forked here, but it's a tough position to play. So somebody under that amount of pressure, it's easy that they play something like this. And of course, I immediately capitalize with knight a6. What a game. This is a brutal game. This is a brutal game. Holy. Beautiful exploitation. And see, these are lines that happen, so now I know that this is best. But I'm not lying to you. This is... I may just play this again. Even this, like... Again, the engine is like, oh, you should keep the queens on the board. Okay, but this looks fantastic. Here I don't even play f5. Here I will play b4. And it's just really tough. Because there's also, like, basically white is winning on all sides. Because here you have a successful, potentially successful minority attack. And here you have a majority attack going strongly. Like, you have two successful attacks on both sides of the board. This you have the minority attack, and here you have the majority attack. It's just so good. And your king's always got to be safer. This bishop's inferior to your bishop, this knight's inferior to your knight, those rooks are inferior to your rooks. The king, by extension, of course, is also in trouble. And we are already after two inaccuracies by white, if you think about it, but the reason is engine, super advanced level. I'm going to play this again if it happens, even if I know that there are previous moves that are better. And when I find somebody that is really, really strong and find all the defensive super good moves, I'm going to learn tremendously, and then I go back and I play the improvements. You know? But if it works, just keep it. This is my ideas, at least on the top of my head. I may change these ideas in 5 minutes after closing the video, after reflecting on it even more. Okay, so before this though, this game, of course, is in the repertoire. And the opponent was the one that deviated with bishop c5. So here, once again, another game that is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 7 games out of 100, guys. Very good, very nice. Let me go to the first position. I like to close the video like that. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed those games. I really, really did. I feel like I'm playing the best chess I've ever played in my life. I'm able to draw against 2300 basically. You know, even though I made an inaccuracy, I managed to crash this 2250 with... sorry, I'm the 2250. I managed to crash this 2200 with relative ease. I was never in trouble ever. I just outplayed him. Like, I'm a different level. And I remember 4 or 5 months ago before the break, I used to struggle to even with this 2100, 2200, I couldn't do it. And it's just, I'm just playing better. But of course, every game, even those games that I win, I see many places, and this is a good thing, even if you win, you have to notice your weaknesses. I see many places where I can improve. There are many, many, many marginal improvements that I can still make, infinite marginal improvements, and so I'm very happy because of that. Not to mention, I'm still in the process of studying my openings to really redefine my repertoire, and then finally start to deep dive on the end games, the middle games, and it's up only. It's up only. I can't wait to become a chess monster. I'm still in my little egg developing, but I can't wait. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your chess.